I am live.
Yes, you are.
All right, I'm live. So let's begin. I'm Casey Cooper.
Well, wait a minute, Casey. Wait a minute.
Oh, shit.
We have to make sure that people are sitting there first.
Oh, and let me be recording this on my phone before we get it started. Because you know, they're coming in. Y'all get on in here.
You look so cute on here.
Thank you. Y'all get on in here. Get on in here. Record it. Okay, I'm recording.
And what I'm doing is I'm just inviting people in. Okay, Casey?
Okay.
Okay, cool. And you got 11 people. So, yeah, introduce yourself. Who are you?
So, good evening. My name is Casey Cooper. I have two companies. One is called NACE Incorporated, which is a construction firm. We're a federal contractor, so we do all kinds of construction projects, transportation projects, all kinds of projects in between for the government. And I also have a women's empowerment group. It's called the Compass Circle. I'm pleased to meet everyone.
Okay, so how did you get started with your business?
So I started in 2006, many moons ago. I was married. And my husband had a lot of money, and I wanted us to build a family dynasty, right? And so I was like, what can I do that I don't have to work and he can work, but it's not hard work and he can make good money? So I had this crazy idea that I was going to start a trucking company. And so I did that. That was 13 years ago. And, I've been rocking and rolling ever since.
So can you talk to them a bit, not necessarily about, I guess you can talk to them about curating the capital to start their business if you can. How did you do that? Like you said, your husband had money or whatever, but it was up to you to be smart enough to siphon that money and actually establish something for yourself. Talk to them a little bit about that. So
yes, my husband, and I don't know another man that is that good with money. He just was good with it. But instead of buying bags and shoes and all, taking trips and stuff, I was like, okay, what can we do to, solidify more money? And so initially I went to my mom and I was like, listen, because here's the thing with me, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, what do I have and what do you have and what can we do together? So he had money, but I didn't want to make him feel like I needed him or it was all on him. So I went to my mom. You can use a relative. And I was like, Mom, I need you to help me co-sign on this truck. First truck I bought was $80,000. And it was a piece of crap too, by the way. But my mom graciously agreed to co-sign, and her and I both put up $1,250 a piece, and I got my first truck.
How essential is the trucking industry? Is that a good way to start a business, or can you speak a little bit about the lucidity in trucking in order to raise capital for your business?
So I tell people all the time, trucking is one of the most lucrative industries that you can get in that will turn over the most money. And then you can keep going. And you can, if you want to take it, it's like I did, I contract my services to the government now. It's very lucrative. Trucking is essential to life as we know it, hair, food, supplies, anything and everything you need has to be either shipped over here, mailed over here, or what have you. But even after it gets shipped over here, it comes into a port and the trucks have to take it to where it has to go. So literally, if trucking shuts down, life as you know it will be no more. We can't have, how will you get your supplies? How will you get your mail?
This is an interesting concept. So with that being said, it's almost like penetrating a need of society to gain the capital to start something in your own life. This is a beautiful thing. And, for those who didn't necessarily, I guess, have the startup that you do, what advice would you give them in aspects of this? I hear you say tapping into a need that people have to get the capital started, and then being intelligent enough to invest that into your own brand. And I know a lot of people, I guess you could say, struggle with the startup. You know what I'm saying? Do you suggest courting someone to do it, or do you suggest, how do you sell yourself? Because I know your husband wasn't just like, okay, I'm going to give you some money, X, Y, and Z. There was a selling part that was like, okay, well, this is the idea. How do you structure and present it to somebody that could potentially invest in your business?
So I want to say, first of all, and I talked to a woman today. Her husband called me. They had a coaching session with me today, and she was like, we want a truck, but we don't know how much money, First of all, a bank is more prone to give you money for something that they can take away from you. So like a commercial vehicle, a car, those are not really too hard to get because it's collateral. So if you default on your loan, they can come take your shit, basically. So that's a lot easier to get than, say, just straight up working capital. Also, your greatest resources besides time is going to be other people. You'd be surprised how many women, how many men, how many of your friends have a couple $1,000s, you know, to the side, a couple, you know, money somewhere, your tax money comes. So it doesn't really take a lot of money. The main thing is people have these grandiose beliefs that things are so hard to do, you know, and nothing is really hard at this day and age. If you don't have it, get with somebody that has the credit. You might have the money. If you have the money, get with somebody that has the credit. If you have the money and she has the credit, get with somebody that has the CDL. So you can always, it doesn't matter what you don't have. I never want to hear anybody tell me or talk to me about what they don't have. You know what you don't have. You know what you don't have. Why are we talking about what you don't have? We're talking about what you want. Get what you want. Okay?
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so in the aspect of getting what you want, I heard you say something very influential and inspirational. It's almost like, you know, the resistance is the being unknowledgeable about what you can invest in or how you can actually get this thing started. Now, you deal with banks and loans. Talk a little bit about that in terms of getting like a small business loan to get your thing started. How difficult is the process? Can you walk me through that?
So I'm a firm believer that, you know, do what you can do on your own instead of having to wait for somebody to give you anything. The quickest way to go ahead and get a business loan is to take your money. So let's say right now it's tax time. Let's say you're getting back $5,000 or whatever. Let's say you can scrape up $10,000. Take your $10,000 to the bank and let them open you up a secured line of credit. So you don't have to go through a business plan. You don't have to, you know, swing from the rafters. You don't have to do all that. If your, you know, credit is not, you know, all the way jacked up, that's a great way to say, here, you take my money, you still have your money, and you have an open line of credit so that you can operate. And here's the thing, open lines of credit, the interest rates are going to be way lower than, you know, non-secured lines of credit because it's your money. So they're going to be very, very low interest rates. And then that way you can operate. You already have your business, you know, working line of credit. And then if things change or as you go further down the line, it'll be a lot easier for you to get another line of credit because you already have the first one.
There we go. Okay, so what would you say to anybody that might be fearful of taking that route? Do all businesses have to go through credit, or do some just, not necessarily, well, I guess not necessarily because, you know, they have to start up capital, but to anybody who might be fearful of taking out a line of credit or their credit is jacked up or anything of this nature, what advice would you give them in facing their fears in terms of this?
Just do it. The worst somebody can tell you is no, right? The worst somebody can tell you is no. And so really, I mean, when you take a bank that type of money, $10,000, $20,000, I got one right now for $40,000 I have to open. So when you go to somebody with $40,000 cash, they're going to be more prone to tell you yes than no because, you know, as you all know, or maybe you don't, banks play with our money every day. You know, they're doing stuff behind the scenes with our money all the time. So if I'm coming to you with $40,000, $50,000 or $20,000 or $15,000, they're going to be more prone to take that money and give you what you want because you're giving them, you're securing it yourself. And then once you start paying your stuff, you still have that money. So your money's not, you know, gone. It hasn't vanished into thin air. You still have it. So that's a great way to do it. Just don't be afraid. Just, you know, the worst thing somebody can tell you, if somebody tell you no, okay, go to another bank, you know, just keep it pushing. Never stop. Keep it pushing.
Tenacity is definitely essential.
Definitely.
Last words of advice before we, I guess, open up for questions. What would you say to anybody starting out their business or having an interest in business or getting things off the ground for themselves?
I would just say, you know, whatever you do not have, people are really going to be your very best resources. You would be surprised how many of your girlfriends have $7,000 tucked somewhere, have great credit, have somebody they know that has X, Y, or Z. The name of the game is teamwork and partnerships. Whatever you do not have, look to your right and look to your left, and I guarantee you're going to find what you need.
There we go. Well, my job is done. Stay live because I'm about to turn you on over here. You guys ask as many questions as you want. I see Jasmine Smith has one down there. And she says she has a question about bank accounts. At what point do you recommend opening one in terms of your business, things of this nature? And also, you do individual consultations, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I coach, I consult. We help you get certifications. We help with business plans, capability statements. If you don't know what a capability statement is, real quick, I can run through it if you like. A capability statement is just basically a statement of your capability. It has your DUNS number, your cage code, a mission statement, past experience. It has, you know, different things so that bigger agencies know that you're serious about what you do. so you can present yourself, you know, really polished. And here's the thing. I don't care if your table is leaning on one leg. You present yourself just like all your legs are sturdy and, you know, you got it going on, because that's what you're going to portray. Just because things are, you know, a little crooked right now, it has nothing to do with your ability to pull off a job and do a damn good job at that. So I just want everybody to, you know, when you go into these situations or you go into a business, hold your head up, you know, adorn yourself, put your finesse, do something that makes you feel powerful. You see this? I do not take a meeting. I've never taken a meeting, and I never will, without this Stila by Sephora Beso. I do not go to any meetings without this lip. When I put this lip on, you better watch out.
You that bitch. All right, then. With that being said, they're going to ask me some questions up here, so that she can give me a buzz. I'm going to get ready for live, and I love you.
Love you. Talk to you later.
All right, cool.
Bye-bye.
You're doing a great job.
Okay, you guys. You're going to have to help me because I'm not really that proficient up here. And I don't even know where my things. Okay. Where we at? Okay. So, you guys got to help me because, hey, where's the questions? Okay. Are there questions up here? You guys, y'all got to really like work with me on this because I don't see anything. But in the meantime, in between time, I wanted to share a couple things with you guys. I can't see the screen if you're asking questions right now. Y'all just work with me. I don't know if you guys are asking anything. Let me just put something in here. Oh, 2 new comments. Let me see. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm really trying to. And you look bomb, honey. Thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate that. I have a question about business bank accounts. At what point do you recommend opening one? Okay, Jasmine. So to answer your question, I would only open a business bank account like if I had revolving things that I needed to pay out of that account. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to keep running to your personal account to do things out of your business account. You don't want to do that. So if you had like things you were paying for regularly, insurance for a business, like a building, supplies, I would open one then and just start operating out of that account. You want to get that going. So we talked about the red lip, right? So I want to talk to you guys about a few things. I have a few notes here. And if you guys have questions, just feel free to add. But as women, I know most of us here are women, right? I wanted to just share a few things because everybody talks about business and being in business and having a business and growing a business and all of that, right? But nobody ever talks about the hard part, about balance, about resting, about what it takes on the inside to really get up and do this every day. So, I've been doing this for 13 years now, and it has not always been easy. I had a divorce. I had a child with autism. I had another child. And just, losing my husband, well, not losing him, but leaving his ass. My husband made a lot of money. And so at that time, when I first started my business, it didn't matter if I made money or not, because my husband was always, literally all I had to do was wake up, seriously. So I think well of myself that I did, take the initiative and get a business because look, we're not together anymore. And I'm still pulling it, right? So I just want to go over a few things with you guys because once you do decide to get in business, it's not hard, but it's not impossible. But you do have to feel yourself up for the race because this is a journey. You got to get to the finish line. And, I've been in business 13 years, so my finish line, I haven't gotten there yet. So I could do this another 50 years, which I intend to give it to my son and let him do it. But in doing that with high levels of stress, having to make decisions, having to, rob Peter to pay Paul at times when things look bleak, these are just some things that I've done to help myself because it's not just me. I have 2 children, and I have to be here for them. I have to be here for my business. I have to be here for my mother. I have to be here for my sister. I have to be all things to everybody. And so these are just a few things that really help me get, keep going and stay going. So pretty much every morning when I get up and I drop my kids off at school, I have a very flexible schedule. I do not work hard at all, guys, because the level that I'm working, when you contract to the government, you become a depositor into the economic system. And so primarily a lot of the money, a lot of it comes from the government. And so as a federal contractor, I'm supposed to deposit money into the economy. So I'm also in a program with the government. It's called the 8A program. The 8A program is a 9-year program where the government is able to just give you jobs, $7 million or less. So this is my 2nd year in the program. So with another 7 years, I will be doing very well. Okay. A lady that I work with here locally, she just graduated out. At her pinnacle, she had 73 projects going at one time, ranging between $1 and $3 million. So the level, you know, as you go higher, it gets a little, you know, more intense. But I say that to say, you know, I'm able to just oversee my projects wherever they are. Some of them are here locally. Some of them are, you know, spread throughout the United States. And I'm able to keep a very open schedule. So pretty much all I do pretty much is, you know, take my kids to school, drop them off. And once I drop them off, I go get in the hot tub, I go to the Y, I go soak, or I go work out, and I do that for maybe like an hour or two. Now, for me personally, getting in the YMCA that I go to has a sauna, a steam room, and a pool, and a jacuzzi. And so for me, I carry stress in my shoulders and in my neck and in my back. And when I start to feel stressed out, I shut everything down. Or as maintenance, I just go, you know, 3 or 4 times a week and I soak. And that's how I really de-stress. That's how I unwind. So that I'm constantly unwinding so that I don't get, you know, wound up and I'm not ready to pop or cuss somebody out, because I have a regimented lifestyle of taking care of myself. It's very important. You know, when I go into these meetings, I go to some very high power. I mean, these companies I sit with are like $200 million companies, you know. I'm the new kid on the block. And so when I show up with this red lip and a great attitude, and not only do I feel good on the inside, but I'm polished, you know, I'm beaming, I'm bright-eyed, I'm bushy-tailed, and I'm ready to do work and I present myself well, what I put in myself, it comes outward. And so they're able to pick up on that. And so I've gotten a lot of work just by having the right attitude, being prompt, being professional, you know, being somebody that a person would want to do business with. You know, regardless of what goes on at home or what happens or what bills you can't pay or whatever, you have to really leave that at the door, you know, because, you know, things change. Sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down. But when you go into a meeting, especially where you want people to spend money with you or to make money with you, the last thing you want to do is appear desperate, angry, upset, have a bunch of angst, because nobody wants to deal with that. You know, sometimes these situations get very high pressured, high powered, intense. And so if you already showing up on a random Monday with an attitude because, you know, it's hot outside, nobody wants to deal with you when shit really gets thick. You know what I mean? So attitude really determines your latitude. I mean, that's a true story. I've gotten so much business favor, so many invites, so much notoriety from just being a happy person. But I'm happy because I take the time to make me happy. You know, every day I do something for myself, whether it's going to the spa, working out, or maybe just going in the little, you know, beauty supply store, grabbing a couple of trinkets, you know, buying me some eyelashes, whatever it is. I take the time out to really take care of me, you know. Another thing I want you guys to just, you know, roll around in your head is, consider the source. You know, I'm gonna tell you guys a personal story. So my mother and father have worked, you know, all of their lives, and now they're retired and they went back to work again, right? And so early in my career, especially when things were going really bad, you know, they kept telling me, come on, baby, just quit. You've done all you can do. But you have to consider the source. You know, I was dealing with 2 older parents who had worked all of their lives, and all they knew was you go to work, you go to school, and you get a job. And so it's not that they meant bad of, you know, or ill intent. It wasn't malicious. It's just that you have to consider your source. You know, I can't take business advice from my mother, because my mother has not made the type of money I'm making, and she never has, you know, and she probably never will. So when you have, you know, $500,000 on the line or $1 million on the line, her level of expertise has not gone there yet. And so it doesn't mean that I'm not listening. It doesn't mean that, you know, she means any ill intent. It's just that you really have to consider your source. You can't talk business to a person, sorry, you guys, who has no business. They have no idea of what you're dealing with. They have no idea. It's just like you can't talk to a person who has no children about being a parent. So don't take it personal. You know, if somebody tells you something, you just let it roll on off your back, because how do they know? If they're not in business, you know, how would they know? Another thing you guys, you want to do is keep it real with yourself. You know, a lot of people out here cannot be honest with themselves. And I mean, just whatever it is. If you're going broke, if you're rich, if you're in the middle, if you're good at what you do, if you're failing miserably at what you do, wherever you are and whatever you are doing, just be honest with yourself. A lot of us lie to ourselves and tell ourselves that what's happening isn't really happening, or it isn't really that bad, or it isn't really this or that. And keeping it real with yourself is one of the best things you're going to be able to do, because you're going to be able to assess what's going on. If you can't properly assess what's going on, how are you going to know how to handle what's going on? You know, a lot of people just tell themselves, oh, you know, it's going to be all right. Oh, meanwhile, your ass about to get evicted. You know, you have to be honest with yourself. It's just like going to the gym. If you're sitting there faking with the weights, you're not lifting any muscles. You're not building anything. But if and when you decide to really go in, that's when the strength comes, you know? I got a couple notes down here. I'm almost through this, you guys. But I really want you to just, you know, get this, because as women, you know, we have a lot of things on our plate. Okay, now this is a big one. And I want you guys to really, if you don't hear anything else I said, I want you to hear this one, because I'm going to tell you a story about, and I have a video about this. I literally took $20, right, and turned it into grossing over $30,000 a month, okay? And I'm going to tell you how I did it. I did it very simple, and it's a very small thing. It's called the gift of gift giving, okay? Anytime I meet with somebody, anytime, you know, somebody takes time out of their day to get with me, especially like if I want to partner with them, or let's say if I want to do business with them and they take time out of their schedule to get with me, I always follow up and send a gift, right? So with my trucks, there was a lumber yard out in Elizabeth City. Elizabeth City is like 45 minutes away from me. And this lady called one day to just do like a random load, right? So I was like, okay, whatever. So I sent the guys out there to do the load. And then like a week later, she called me back to do it again. So I was like, okay, cool. So that was pretty good. When the guys got back to the yard, I asked them, you know, how did it go? Blah, 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 blah. And they were telling me that there was a potential that we could kind of like, you know, move in and kind of take over the account. So me being me, I went down there. This particular lady, her office was outside in like a little scale house, but it was a lot of dust and stuff out there. And so she was, you know, like have a lot of dust and stuff coming in her office. And so I just went down there and introduced myself. When I went down there, I took donuts for the whole company, right? What did that cost me? 20 bucks? Okay, probably not even $16. Okay, right. So, you know, she was like, oh, okay, cool. Da, 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 da. So what happened? The next day she called me and gave me some more loads, right? So I was like, okay, let me see how I can turn this up a notch. So a week or so goes by, and she called me on the phone, and she mentioned that she had gotten a new office. She was no longer outside. She wasn't in the heat. She wasn't in the dust. And I said, okay, I got her number. So about another week passed by, and I called her on the phone. I said, hey, I'm in the area. I'm passing by. I was not in no area. But I went to Home Depot. I got her like a $10 plant and took it to her and gave it to her for her office. Now, mind you, this is a man dominated industry. So it's a lot of men around. So when you find women in the office, you want to make friends with them, because chances are they're rolling their eyes at these men just like you rolling. So long story short, I took her this plant. And do you know, 2 hours later, my hand to God, she called me and she said, hey, do you have any more trucks I can use? And I did, because I have like 5 trucks. And she said, you can, I want you to be my premier carrier. I want you to come down here. And that's an account I've had for the last 3 years. And so out of that account, my trucks ended up doing all the wood for all the Home Depots in my area. And I literally am able to gross over $30,000 a month from just building a rapport with her and just, you know, taking her gifts. I had a meeting yesterday with another company. And so I actually today ordered him an edible arrangement that he'll get tomorrow. Anytime I have a meeting, I cannot stress this enough, you guys. It doesn't have to be an edible arrangement. It doesn't have to cost $50. It doesn't have to cost anything. It's just the fact that you did it, okay? People love gifts for Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever. It doesn't have to be much. Just a little something goes a long way. And so I did that again with another account. And do you know, at the end of the month, I looked at my account, I had $84,000 sitting in my account after I had paid all my bills. The gift that I got him cost me, what, $100? Would you trade $100 to have $84,000 sitting in your account? My hand to God. So I always give gifts. I always say please and thank you. I always make sure that I'm very polite. I'm very mannerable, because you don't know who people are in these industries. People stay at jobs for years and years and years and years. And so just because somebody's, you know, a secretary one day doesn't mean that next week they won't be, you know, the general manager. And so if you build that rapport, you know, and you've done your job, you've been gracious, you've been, you know, you're going to really find that giving gifts, especially when women are involved, it's going to really go a long way, okay? Another thing I want to tell you guys is don't work yourselves to death. You know, working hard does not necessarily mean more money. It really doesn't. That's why, you know, I started contracting my services to the government, because I was working so hard. I had these trucks. I was making this money, but it was hard money. You know, when people would call out, I would have to get my kids, drop them off at school, you know, early or late or whatever, throw them in the back of the truck. I would have to drive, all kinds of things. So I was making money, but it was hard money. And so now I make way more money. I do way less work. And it's pretty cool because I get to live my life the way I want to live it. And I'm just really telling you guys, these are lessons that I've learned along the way. You don't have to go out here and bust your knuckles and bust your head and work from 9 to 9 to make a good coin. You really don't have to. You know, and you don't want to be all stressed out either. You know, you don't want to be stressed out and can't even enjoy the money you're making because you're so busy trying to, you know, make a dollar. I'm almost done here, but this is pretty important too. Okay. And if you don't hear anything else besides what I said about gifts, I want you to know this too. Do things in the right spirit, okay? And what I mean by that is, if I have a project, let's say with my Compass Circle group, right? I have over 300 women in this group that I coach and, you know, help grow and expand, get certifications, blah, 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 right? I only take 2 people that I coach a day because I don't work hard in real life. And so the last thing I want to do is be doing something for people, and then I'm working my fingers to the bone doing that, right? So I find myself for the Compass Circle, I do like 15 minutes here of work, 15 minutes there. I might go on my website and do a little something. And because I'm doing so little, it becomes enjoyable. Because it's enjoyable, I enjoy doing it. I like doing it. I find myself keep going back and keep going back and keep going back. But when I'm doing it, I'm happy to be doing it because I enjoy it. That happiness, it sows itself into your seed. And that's going to determine the outcome of what you get. Just like if you're sitting at a desk all day for 8 hours, like, you're sowing that into your work. And your work is going to reap a harvest of, so, you know, if you have something that needs to be done, take breaks. Don't take a lot. I got a lot of projects right now and curriculums and webinars and stuff that I need to do. But guess what? I don't work at it for very long. I might do 20, 30 minutes max, and then I'll put it to the side and I'll go do something else. And because I did a little bit, it makes me want to go back and do more, and I'm happy to do so. And so the outcome is always good because of the seed that I sow into it. It's a very pleasant seed, you know. It's expectation, it's excellence, it's happiness, it's jubilee, you know. You want those things in your workings. Also, another thing is, don't have people in your paperwork who don't believe like you do. I had hired a girl, and this was like my first like big year where I was gonna like make more money than I had ever made. And so I had this girl, and she was great at what she did, but she was not, her faith wasn't where mine was. And so I was going after like an $8 million project, and I won the project, right? But she is like, she couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? And so I had to end up getting rid of her. But on your team, you want like-minded people all yoked up. If I'm believing that I can go to, you know, Russia and take over, you need to be on my team believing for that also. Because if you're not yoked up with me in belief. And that means if your hands are in my paperwork, you're kind of like working against me if you're not believing and I am. So that's very important, you know, especially in your finances, especially in important, let's say if you're bidding on an important job or you're putting in important paperwork, you don't want anybody in your paperwork that's not on the same accord, you know? And lastly, don't block your blessings, you know? Don't be out here being nasty to people. You know, if somebody says something to you, don't go back and forth with people. Don't give people your energy, you know? Some people are just out here just doing anything because they're not doing themselves. So they have a lot of extra steam to blow off. They have a lot of mean things to say. They get nasty. You know, they talk ugly. They're negative. I went to an event last weekend in Las Vegas, and I was sitting next to this girl, right? And she kept saying, she was sitting on the bench, and she kept saying, her boots unzipped. Her lashes is, you need to button your thing. Your lashes hanging, your lashes. I mean, it's just like, girl. And I said, okay. Oh, all right. Like, I gave her nothing. And the way she sat there and the posture she sat there in was just like, her makeup too thick. Her glasses too thick. You know, it was just like every 5 minutes she had something to say. And guess what? I let it roll off right off my back. I mean, I recognized where she was in life, you know, put a little tink tink, you know, she probably doesn't even know she's being as negative as she is. But saying all that, you know, just protect your energy. You know, if you believe in and you going out here on a limb to give it all you got to go into business, I'm a living example that, you know, you can do it. Single, I have 2 kids. My daughter has autism. I live in a very nice community. My kids go to private school. I bought my mom a house about 2 years ago. You know, I'm very happy. I'm not dating anybody. Nobody's cheating on me. Nobody's sleeping with me and then running across town, sleeping with anybody else. You know what I'm talking about? You know, just guard yourself. You know, if you don't guard yourself, nobody else is. Don't be out here giving yourself to men that don't deserve you, that aren't, you know, investing in you, filling you up. You know, take time to really get into you and know yourself. I'm telling you, you'll get a lot of stuff done. So with that being said, guys, I'm Casey Cooper of the Compass Circle. I offer coaching. I offer consultations. I help you guys with promotion, website. If you want to contract your services to the state or city government or the federal government like I do, I offer coaching on how to do that as well. I offer help with capability statements, website design. I think I said that, business card design. We offer really a whole service of things. So you can find me on Facebook at Compass Circle, or you can find me on Instagram. That's where I have a large following. Oh no, this is Bootz, y'all. I'm just wrapping up on Instagram, and it is at thecompasscircle.com. Sorry, hold on, Bootz. I was wrapping up on Instagram. Yes.
Are you still on live?
I am. I'm wrapping up right now.
Okay, well, hold on before you wrap. I just want to say from me to you, I'm blown away.
Really?
I'm blown away by you. Y'all blown away. I'm absolutely blown away. So let me go ahead and plug. If y'all have not gotten a consultation with her, get a consultation with her. I'm going to book a consultation with you. You said some things in here that I needed to hear. And I knew what to expect, but I honestly didn't know what to expect. You are brilliant. You are brilliant. And I just want to thank you for blessing my class. I really appreciate it. And I'm booking my consultation right now.
Thank you, Bootz.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was Bootz, y'all. Sorry. But anyways, I think I was telling where I was. So anyways, on Instagram, I have a group of women, and every Wednesday we highlight a woman-owned business. This is very important, you guys, okay? This is free. I do not charge for this. I just do it as a way to bring awareness to other women's groups. You know, we talked about the woman aspect, having to raise these kids. It's a very hard job. This a rolly, not a stopwatch. This shit don't never stop. I know y'all feel that, okay? So on Wednesdays, we highlight one woman-owned business. And so it's free. If you go to www.thecompasscircle.com, you can sign up. You'll get all the emails, all the happenings. We have a lot of classes that are going to be coming up, webinars, certifications, trainings, speaking engagements. It's going to be brilliant. So if you go ahead and get your business started, I will be more than happy to highlight you guys on Wednesday. We send out a whole email blast about your business, your products. You can go on the website, create a profile so that we can spend money with each other, because we do that as well within the group. It's over 300 women in the group now. I just started November the 28th. And so it's really grown from one and only me to over 300 women. And so I welcome all of you, you know, come join, come get in the know. I give out a lot of free tips every day on Tuesdays. It's an awesome place to just be with like-minded women. It really is. And I'm happy to have everyone. I'm thankful to Bootz for just allowing me to grace his platform. I knew we were going to be working together because we just kind of just found each other, and you know, here we are. So thank you guys. I'm not going to take up a bunch of your time. I love all of you. I'm here if you need anything. And I don't think I missed any questions. I'm not sure. I hope I didn't miss any questions because I can't really see that well. If I did, just inbox me or DM me, but I'm here if anybody needs me. And with that, you guys, work smarter, not harder. I love you. Bye-bye.